Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin and I'm the author of the new book, Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love, available now in paperback, Kindle, and Audible books. And if you're reading a copy of Twin Flame Romance, which I would highly suggest, then leave a review on Amazon, which is greatly appreciated. You can email me at michellefondinauthor@gmail.com and I will send you a promotional Audible copy of Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy, which is an amazing book and a great way to heal your chakras. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new, please subscribe below, hit the bell for notifications, and give the video a thumbs up. If you would like a reading with me, 30 or 60 or 90-minute twin flame readings, go ahead and email me at michellefondinauthor@gmail.com. You can also go to my website, fondinwellness.com. Welcome back, you guys! Oh boy, I am way in over my head with this video, I believe. So, the video that I'm producing today, the subject matter was actually suggested through my channel by one of you viewers, or several of you viewers, I don't know, but one in particular. And the subject is sexual intimacy okay if I'm in separation with my twin? All right, guys, let's just dig deep into this topic. Now, let me tell you this right now. Do not take what I say for gospel. This is just my opinion and experience. That is it. I seriously don't like talking about this topic. I just don't. I was brought up to be a good little Catholic girl, and we don't talk about sexual intimacy. But for the sake of all of you out there, I am addressing this topic. So let's dive right in. You're separated from your twin. It's been a while. For some of you, it's been longer than others. And the question arises is, do I just stay celibate or do I go off and have sexual intimacy with somebody else? So the quick answer, I'm gonna give you guys a really quick answer, then a really long answer. The quick answer is, if you are in separation with your twin flame and there's no communication and no intimacy and nothing, if there's really nothing going on, then yeah, it's in your right to go have sexual intimacy with somebody else if that's what you choose, because technically, if you are in 3D separation with your twin, there is no relationship. There really isn't a relationship, right? It's a 5D relationship. You know your twin is in your destiny, but in the 3D physical world, there really is no relationship. So since there's no relationship, of course it's okay for you to go date someone else, have sex with someone else if that's what you choose, or even be in a relationship with someone else, because the real 3D world experience that you experience as a human being comes from this real world experience, and having a relationship in the way of relationship terms in society is concerned, when it comes to living in the 3D world or the physical world, a relationship means you actually see the person, you know them, you experience them, you have life experiences with that person. And if you're not having life experiences with that person, then there is no relationship, right? As we look at relationship in the traditional sense, okay? So if you've been hesitating just based on the fact that you know that your twin is your destiny, then know that there's no need to worry, because honestly, nothing can deter God from God's path for you. Meaning God's going to find a way. If there's a will, there's a way. If it's God's will, he'll find a way to get you and your twin back together, okay? So there's no need to really worry about that, if that is actually what you're worried about. Now, the situation actually gets more complex, because what I really want you to ask yourself is ask yourself a couple of questions before you go ahead with a relationship or intimacy with another person. The questions that you must ask yourself is, why am I doing this? Why am I entering into a sexual romantic partnership with somebody else? Now, is it out of fear? Is it out of desperation? Is it out of loneliness? Is it out of spite? What are the reasons? Or is it just like you genuinely want a connection with another person, and you really have a lot of love to give, and you just really want this genuine connection with somebody else in the 3D physical world, And if that's the case, then it's probably the right reasons for doing so. If it's out of desperation or loneliness or anger or sorrow or like any of those reasons, or just trying to get back at your twin because they've abandoned you and they might still be in a relationship with somebody else. So if those are the reasons, you might want to continue to explore the reasons, because actually it might not be the right reasons to do it. So it really has to come from a good place, and it has to come from a place of wholeness on your part in saying, like, I feel good about myself. Like, I love myself. I feel good about myself. I'm really happy with the way my life is going right now. And even though I know my twin is my destiny, if my twin is not ready to be with me, then I'm going to go ahead and just live my life. And if living my life actually means to be with somebody else, even in an intimate way, then so be it, because that's just the way I'm choosing to live my life right now. So if that's the way you're choosing to live your life, and if you can say in all honesty that you're doing it from a really good place, from a place of strength, where you're really feeling strong and you're really loving yourself and loving your life, and you're just like, I just feel so good right now, I feel like I want to share that with somebody. So if that's really the place where you're at, then I'd say just, go ahead, like, full green ahead, just go with it if that's what you desire, if that's what you want. And if it's coming from a bad place, then you really have a lot more spiritual growth and emotional growth to go in order to come into reunion with your twin. And even you probably shouldn't be with another person in an intimate situation because of your spiritual growth if you're still in a bad place. If it's coming from a place of deep need, but out of negativity. So you just want the pain to stop, you want the sorrow to stop, you're using them as a distraction to keep you from your own feelings. That is really just not a good place to be in. In any case, twin flame relationship or not, it's just not a good place to be in. And usually a really bad reason to go into another relationship in any case whatsoever. And you usually can discern and decipher based on your past what typically happens when you enter into a relationship with those deep needs that are unfulfilled, and you can't fulfill them with your own life and life purpose. It's really good just take a good look at yourself and really weigh out those options. Just weigh them out and see where you're at. So for me, I have done kind of both. Like, I've waited, I've been celibate, if you will, or just waiting for my twin to come around and just working on myself, honestly, and just going through all the steps and stages that I need to do to develop as a person and be a more balanced and well-rounded person overall in all aspects of my living. I did go through a period of time where I did that, and then I went through a period of time where I really wanted to be with somebody, and I really sought out that connection, but it was someone who I knew. For the first part, it was someone that I knew and who I really cared about. And I kind of resisted it at first, and I thought, like, well, I know that I'm destined to be with my twin, so this kind of feels wrong because I feel like I'm being, if you will, I feel like I'm kind of being deceitful to the other person, even though I told the other person. The other person knew that I was in a twin flame connection, even though he didn't fully understand it, but he fully understood the fact that my heart was somewhere else, and he was okay with that. But still, it didn't sit quite right with me 100%. And so I let myself be vulnerable, and I let myself go into that situation. And a couple things happened. Now, this is the weird part about a twin flame connection. A couple of things happened. So the first thing that happened is when I was with this other person, we ran into my twin randomly twice at 2 different occasions. I mean, happenstance occasions and meetings, and just really weird that my twin happened to meet this person that I was seeing. And it wasn't, obviously there are no accidents in the universe. Obviously, if my twin did meet this other person, then it was actually meant to be that he met this other person. So that was the first bit. The second bit was because my twin and I have such a strong connection in the 5D or the 5th dimension. I know a lot of you are newer to the journey and you're watching my videos or other people's videos kind of in the middle of it, not really from the beginning of the playlist. So a lot of you are really baffled, like, what is 3D? What is 5D? I don't understand. So I do have a video on twin flame vocabulary if you're interested in watching that, if you're new. So you can go back and watch that video, and I really define that. And also in my book, Twin Flame Romance, I have a whole definition section on terms that we use in the twin flame community. That was the first piece. My twin flame and I have a strong 5D connection. We always have, probably since the get-go, since the very first time we even spoke on a personal level. Craziness, but yes, really strong 5D connection. What happened when I was seeing this person is that my twin came to me in dreams and started telling me things and like trying to make my other guy go away, basically. And so it was really kind of unnerving and a little funny at the same token, because I was like, what is this really happening? Like, how in the world is this happening? So it was a little bit strange. Now, another occasion happened at which my twin flame actually spoke to me in the 5D, like audibly out loud in the 5D. Now, for those of you that haven't had this experience, you might think I'm totally nuts and totally crazy, but twin flames do speak to each other in the spiritual realm, in the 5th dimension, and sometimes very audibly speak to each other in the 5th dimension, which is so crazy, but it does happen. And my twin spoke to me literally in the 5D out loud, his voice, nobody else's voice, and asked me something very specific about this person and just wanted me to know that he wasn't okay with it, basically. So there you go. So that was that experiment right there. Now, there was another occasion at which I did see someone briefly, and it was coming, honestly, it was coming from a good place for me. I was in a really good place. I was in a super good place at that specific moment in time. Really, really like happy with myself, and I was really feeling fulfilled in myself, and I had a lot of self-confidence, and I was just doing my own thing. Like, honestly, I was just kind of going about my life, doing my own thing, and this person came into my life, and I really resisted it at first. Same kind of thing. I kind of resisted it just because I was like, you know, I really don't know if I even want this. I don't know if I want to be with somebody else. I'm, you know, whatever. I'm just doing me. I'm living my life. And I kind of let things unfold. The interesting piece was I was really protective of my twin space, if that makes sense. So I kind of didn't let the person get close to me. I was like, really kept this barrier or this wall and kind of kept this distance, because for some reason, just intuitively, it didn't feel right for me to let this person in completely. So that was that experience right there. And that was coming from a good place. I was actually in a really, really, really strong place, a really good place. It just didn't feel 100%. And then I have been on dating websites, and I think we spoke about this in another video. I think we spoke about it maybe in some Q&As. And it's funny because when I told my sister that I was gonna go on some dating websites, she was like, yeah, good luck with that. And my sister, for those of you that don't know, has been in twin flame connection for several years. And she has had that same experience where she is signed on to dating websites and really nothing actually came to fruition from it, really. And what's funny for me, though, is that generally speaking, I have a pretty good track record when it comes to dating websites. I'm actually pretty good at it, and I don't know, I show up really well in dating profiles, I guess. I don't know, but I've never, ever had any issues getting any dates on a dating website. It's never been the issue for me. And this time around, when I went on dating websites, and I was just like, you know, I was like, I just want to meet people. I'm just having fun with this. You know, again, in a good place. I don't really care. Just want to like try it out and see what happens. I'm not putting any pressure on myself or the other person. I just don't, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, I just want to date people, just reach out, have fun. And again, just weirdly enough, like nothing happened, like no real connections. Whatever conversations I had kind of fizzled out. So I think my twin has a very strong shield of protection around me, that he is just like, nope, nah, like this is not happening. You're not going to be with anybody else because you know what your destiny is, kind of thing. So it's Very, 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 very interesting to me. What might happen for you as well, especially if you're in a really strong twin flame connection where you have been in strength with this person, because I know that everybody is at a very different variety of stages and trajectories within the twin flame journey. So some of you are really way at the beginning, some of you are nearing reunion, some of you have been in reunion and then have kind of gone into separation and reunion again. So there's a lot of stages in between as well. And so I can't speak for everybody, I just don't know. But you might find that if you do try to go out there and date or be with other people, that it might just not work. It might just not work out. But I would say if it's in your heart and in your mind to like just try it and be like, I'm in a good place, kind of like where I was in that space of trying these things, is you really have to come at it from, I've been doing all of my work, I've been working on myself on every aspect of my life, I'm feeling stronger, I'm feeling more confident, I'm feeling really good in myself, and I'm feeling that strength. And then I kind of want to just go out there and just meet people, have companionship. Like, if that's where you're at, then I would just say, you know what, feel free, just go out and do it if you feel comfortable with it. Do not do anything that's going to go against what you feel inside, because if you go against what you feel inside, it's not going to work. It's going to be totally, totally counterproductive. It's totally not going to work. Now, last but not least, what I want to say to some of you out there, not all of you, but some of you out there, is I know I've told my story in several videos, the fact that I've been a little bit addicted to relationships. So I have not gone a long time without being in a relationship. I must say that when I met my twin and we were together and we went into separation, that was probably the longest time I had ever been in separation. I mean, been without a relationship, if you will. There weren't a lot of periods in my life ever where I was without a relationship. I had been in relationships since I could remember. So, that being said, if that's your case, if you always have had someone with you, if you've had a boyfriend or girlfriend always, or been married for most of your life or whatever, and there hasn't been this period of void or this period of like just you, yourself, and your thoughts and your life, like, and you haven't experienced life with no intimacy or with no sex or whatever it is, like if you haven't had that experience for very long periods of time in your life, and you have been one of those people who has a tendency to jump from one connection to another, from one relationship to another, from one dating scenario to another, with very little pause in between, my suggestion to you, just to get yourself in a really good place, is just to explore a little bit of celibacy. Just explore it. Explore that as a means for growth versus just jumping into the next thing, jumping into the next connection, the next relationship, the next dating scenario, the next romantic scenario. Because usually it's a question of just asking yourself, like, why do I feel like I need to jump into the next thing? What is the purpose of that? What is the meaning of that? Why do I feel like I can't have a moment to myself where I'm just celibate and just enjoying my life from my perspective of learning? Because if you think about it, sexuality, and go back to the second chakra. I have 3 or 4 second chakra videos on Svadhisthana, the creativity chakra, the sexual chakra, the sacral chakra. In my book, Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy, I write an entire chapter on this. So definitely check it out. I would say pick up that book in paperback or read it on Kindle or Audible books, but it's really good to dig deep into each of the chakras. So the second chakra, which is the sexuality chakra, is like our creativity chakra as well. So it's not just about sexual relationships or experiencing sexuality. In addition to that, it's the creative energy within us. So What is it in you, if you have this tendency to jump from one partnership to another, what is it in you that can't fulfill that creative expression by other means? And what are you not using that creative expression for that you could technically use it for? Okay. Now, I am all for that stuff, like sexual intimacy, bring it on. Like, I'm all for that. But when it comes to the point that I'm hearing from a lot of you, not only in your comments, but in a lot of the people that I'm mentoring as well, is, well, if my twin doesn't want to be with me, do I just go search for somebody else? Or do I just go have sex with somebody else? Do I just go date somebody else? And believe me, a lot of you are in that space right now. A lot of you are in that place where you're a little fed up with where this is going and not going so quickly. And everybody has needs, obviously. But I want it to be mindful. So look at your sexuality as being something mindful. You want to bring mindfulness to it and not just spread it around willy-nilly without any thought to it, without any feeling behind it, and without any meaning. And so what we're trying to do is just use our sexual expression responsibly, use it from a very, very good place, a much higher place probably than you have done for much of your life. And to be able to honor and respect your inner feelings about what this twin flame connection means to you in the 3D and the 5D, in what it means to you moving forward and how you feel about that when it comes to your own sexual intimacy. So again, not a clear answer, but I hope it clarified some scenarios and situations for you so that you can actually make a better and more educated choice about this, because it's not easy. I'm telling you that right now. This whole thing is not easy, and making the decisions that you're destined to make or needing to make is it's just not always a clear path. So really look inside yourself and see again where that's coming from. And I guess that will be your guide after that. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Hit the bell for notifications. Thank you so much for sharing this video with other twin flames. And thank you for pledging your support on Patreon, www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin. And I will see you in the next video.